Well, following the announcement by the police that recruitment exercise commences soon, we're joined now by Chikwe Udensi, is systems consultant, Interpol National Central Bureau, and chairman, Governing Council, Institute for Security and Safety Studies, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. He's also the Vice President, International Security Association. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight tonight. Sir Chikwe Udensi, thanks for joining us on Newsnight.
Thanks for having me.
I hope I won't be, putting you on the spot if I asked you if you would allow your son or indeed your daughter to join the Nigeria Police of today as things are. And of course, I'd like to get your reaction to this approval for 94,000 to be recruited, 50,000 in the police. The army gets around 14,000. And of course, we have the DSS training forest guards.
Well, like you know, as it is right now, if anybody wants to enter the Nigerian police force, there's no attraction there.
Right.
Asking my son or maybe my daughter to enter the Nigerian police force as it is currently constituted, I will allow them to make the decision themselves. But I'm concerned about the idea of recruiting more policemen.
Why is that?
That's not the problem. If you have a problem, massive major problem,
right,
and the problem is this way, and then you, without solving this problem, you add more to the problem, you complicate the issues.
Let me get you right. Are you saying the recruitment additional personnel into the police force will only add to the problem?
Absolutely.
And not solve it?
Absolutely.
In what way exactly? Isn't numbers, personnel, part of the challenge?
That's not the major challenge. The major challenge we have there, what we have advised them over and over, we have advised government, number one, first and foremost, welfare. There's the morale, the patriotism, the desire for people to work in the police force today is very minimal. Those who are working are totally dissatisfied, absolutely dissatisfied. So if you do not take care of their welfare, and then the issue of training and provision of the tools,
right,
and also, but more importantly, before you hire anybody, profiling. If you have an enemy within, it's a very major problem, massive problem. And that's exactly what is even bedeviling our armed forces right now. We have criminals, we have people who ought not to be in the armed forces who are there, and they are saboteurs. And like you know, I said earlier, the problem of having the one that comes from inside is a major problem. So it is not the issue of hiring more people. You are going to compound the problem if you hire more people. You need to, first of all, provide proper welfare package. I can give you specifics of what I mean.
What should this, when we talk about welfare, what readily comes to mind is better pay. But welfare is not
just better pay.
What's the standard elsewhere? Let's not say United States of America.
No. We're not going that far.
Look within Africa and say, look, this is the barest minimum that's expected for any police officer to not just do his job well, but do it, with patriotic fervor. Let
us look at the category of people we're talking about.
Right.
Who are they? Who is doing the police work today? 85% of police work simply means guard duties, sobriety checks, surveillance checks, apprehension of suspects, investigation of suspects, prosecution of suspects. Who does that? It is called, the category is called the NCOs, non-commissioned officers. These are the constables to the inspectors. Right. How much are they earning? I don't want to compare them with any part of the world. Let us compare them what is livable here. What do they require to live here?
Right.
What is the livable wage for them?
So what really do they require a typical policeman to deliver in Nigeria? And you also talk about vetting. I'd like you to address that, because what do we need to look out for to ensure that we don't have enemies within the system?
Let us first of all look at the package. The category I just mentioned,
right,
the non-commissioned officers from constable to inspector. They earn a little above 100,000. This category.
Naira.
100,000 a month. Nobody can live off that. And if you consider the fact that apart from the inspectors that came in as cadet inspectors, every other inspector takes between 20 to 25 years to be an inspector.
Right.
From constable to inspector, about 25 years. And you pay him a little above. Yes, but yeah, the inspectors now have a little edge where they receive 2 other extra payments that takes them just about 200,000, but it's still not enough. Every police officer, most police officers right now, except for a few that get some supplies from the store, they buy everything from the open market.
Which shouldn't be.
Which shouldn't be. They buy their uniforms, their belts. They are not kitted. Have you seen the policeman on the streets?
That's why I asked you the question.
The policeman on the street doesn't look like a policeman. They are not properly kitted like policemen. Look at how they look. And sometimes you see them wearing bedroom slippers. And when they are on a beat, very dangerous beat we have in the country, there are no proper body armor that protects them. Even when they are protecting the banks, the banks that are making billions of dollars or billions of naira every year declaring profits cannot provide effectively for the policeman. So in that circumstance, the first and foremost thing to do, provide the welfare to be meaningful. Make sure you provide for their welfare, provide for their training, and also profile properly before you have them.
Let's talk about this profiling or vetting, if you like. Typically, the president has declared a state of emergency and has given that the go-ahead for this 94,000 or so, 50,000 for the police, 14,000 for the military. What should the police, the military, be vetting for? What should they be looking out for to say this person has killed?
See, you are recruiting somebody to man a very sensitive national office, which is protection of life and property.
Right.
The person must not be a criminal.
Number one.
The person must be of good character. The person must have some level of proper communication, must have some decent judgment. Who does the vetting? Now, for criminals, we don't have very veritable data nationwide. Wanted persons, waiting trial persons, convicted criminals, persons of questionable character, or people who have committed crimes. We don't have that effective data base to look at. And we have shouted over time, you cannot effectively police the nation without properly profiling those you are hiring as policemen. So
when you hear from what's been put out there that a general duty cadre, number one, must be a Nigerian by birth, right? I mean, that's a given. GCO level, not more than 2 sittings at SSCE, WASC. Specialists cadre, minimum 4 credits plus English and maths, and 3 years experience or relevant certificates.
He must be a Nigerian.
Yeah.
What do you provide to show that he's a Nigerian?
There you go.
What do you provide to show he's a Nigerian? That's the question. It is not just to say these very fanciful things. Today, to determine who is a Nigerian is a problem. We don't have the proper protection within our data and system to say he was born here. In Nigeria. Or we have proper records to show he was born here. You are asked to go to your local government and get some letter of attestation, or maybe go to the Population Commission and obtain some letter. Is that what makes one a citizen of a place? This is what creates the problem. Right. And if you do not properly profile the person...
qualification, does it cut it?
Well, today you know that our schools, even the universities have turned to high schools. The quality of education we have today is very, very substandard, extremely substandard. And because those whose job it is to train our children, or they are no more being properly paid. And there is a debt of qualified people in the system. Those who are qualified are living in their droves.
So how do we make the best of a bad, what seems to be a bad situation?
We have said over,
adding numbers is to cause more problems. Now we have an emergency on our hands, a clear and present danger. What can we do to ensure that, number one, we get the vetting right, at least to a very large extent? What do we need to do desperately? Because this is an urgent situation.
We must not do things that way. We must do things the proper way. This idea of doing it in such an emergency form, let me give you an example. You are withdrawing the whole of security operatives, policemen, VIP.
Yes,
policemen.
about over 11,000 according to the IG.
It's a good idea.
Right.
But
is it a good place to start from?
Is it a good place to start from in a very volatile situation like we have right now? Even if you have to do that, which is a good thing to do, wouldn't it be a good idea, since you have provided the alternative, wouldn't it be a good idea you give this alternative place first? If you say, for example, a legislature is not entitled to policeman, fine. What is the alternative? Civil defense, like the government have said.
Yes.
Can't we post this civil defense to them first? Or post the DSS officers to them first? Or maybe do it simultaneously. While you are removing the police, you are posting another person. This idea of harsh attitudes, harsh processes is not good for us. We must behave like those who are the rest.
The solution is state police. In 30 seconds, please, if you can. Will that solve Nigeria's insecurity problem to a very large extent?
Right now, we have state police. We have state commands. Except maybe if you're asking that we should give the governors command and control of arms and ammunition, that would be dangerous.
Okay. I was going to ask if that's what's missing, but we have to say thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. Sir Chikwe Udensi, Systems Consultant, Interpol, National Central Bureau, and Chairman, Governing Council, Institute for Security and Safety Studies, Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.